Hi, this is Sean Law from Sydney Lorcana. Here we've got some match play footage between the Townhall winner box. This one is between Will and on Amber Steel Aggro and Franz on Amber Steel Steel Song. I've got Robbie here to help with commentating.
Hi, Sean. Thanks so much for having me. Really happy to be here. Really excited to see this action that's going to go down. We've got Franz, who's the top 32 duelist from the DLC in Melbourne, going up against William, who scrubbed out the final round of the DLC, as did I, but still had a very formidable showing. We've got two people who've played this deck for quite some time that have had quite a bit of success with this deck, and this is going to be an absolute cracker here.
Yeah, it looks like it should be an interesting matchup. All right, so
So we've
both
got the
players have
we've got the dex card. The most
shuffled their
important part of this
decks.
happen.
Yeah,
Have we got a dice roll going on here? Oh, here we go. Moment of
they've
truth.
yeah, I think they've dice rolls already been done. The decks shuffled, and they're looking at their initial opening seven.
It'll be exciting to know exactly who's starting this one out. I believe, based on body language, I'm going to guess William is. As a complete hunch, and I'm talking completely out of my own, you know what, but we'll find out shortly here. But we can also see that we've got the psychological battle of the mulligan. Both players have put two cards down. Oh, Will's picked one back up. Will's picked this. No, he's put that one back down. That is going to be very, very much messing with the mind of the opponent. Just one to mulligan. My goodness, France must be going through a whirlwind of psychological trauma right now, seeing one mulligan by Will. Who knows what's going to happen next? We've got, he's thinking about it. Is that one as well? Is that a second card? No. Also one? Two.
That's
Two.
two. So
Okay.
yeah, I mean, a mulligan of one from an aggro deck always seems pretty scary because that means that they've probably already got a very fast start in their hand that they don't really need to mulligan much. But Steel Song also only mulliganing two is well, I mean, as an aggro player, you'd still be concerned. All right, here we go. It's
We
inking
got Cindy
Rhino,
Pass.
Cindy on one.
All right, we've got industry standard turn one from an Amber Steel deck. So he's not going for the Rhino play to start. We're going for the Cindy roll. Perhaps he's got a song in hand. So there is Baby Rhino. Are we going to see a Storm Rages on here or Strength of the Raging Fire? Wait, Strength doesn't kill it. Disregard that. Oh, wait, yes, it does.
Strength won't kill it because it's a 1-2, but
Oh, it's a
if they
1-2. I suck.
play another creature, it will. Um, yeah, it's a bit of thinking here. I guess maybe they might have multiple songs in hand. They're trying to think of which to play, or
Yeah, really,
perhaps.
really tough decision from William Bartlett here. Really, really tough decision as to whether or not use, Storm Rages on and play his Smee, or what to do. He's inked a Robin Hood. It's going, and he's playing the Piglet. He's singing the Strength, and the Rhino is in the discard, and that is the turn. Piglet is lining up for three, and Franz is in all sorts of trouble. There goes the ink with the world's greatest criminal mind. Here comes turn two for Franz. What are we going to see?
Hopefully, it's some sort of singer like a Ursula or Troubadour.
Yeah, well,
And
Ursula was getting good play in this tournament, and from speaking to Will afterwards, he even mentioned that the reason Ursula's getting good play is just for the Rapunzel heal bonus, because you can get that extra card. So even though Troubadour has the resist, Rapunzel does have that. And there's the Smee, the turn two Smee, very industry standard from an aggro Amber Steel deck.
all right,
He's inked the
inking, ink the
lady.
lady, going for a Lawrence. I guess he looking for the staying power of Lawrence because it requires, well, it required two songs to get rid of it.
Yeah, either that or he just doesn't have the cards because he might just not have a two cost or less at this point. Because really, if he had a Calhoun or a Daisy or even a Rhino, you'd be sticking that out one. And there's the aerial on turn three. That's what we like to see. Francis having a quick look, and he's whiffed.
Which is
Unfortunate.
not great because Piglet's already quested for 3, and here's the Smee taking out the Piglet and then banishing itself at end of turn because there's no captain in play.
Yeah,
So,
and Piglet has quested for three, so William is currently up 3 points to nothing against France.
all right, here we
Okay,
go.
so let's have three.
Taking now, we've got Lady into
There's
Penny.
Lady into a penny.
Now, are they going to put the resist on Lawrence or on Cindy? Because if it's on Cindy, then Ariel can't actually take it out.
Yeah, I think he's calling Cindy. I would play that on Cindy for sure in that instance, just because, yeah, Ariel can't swing at it. A song could clear it, but then, there's just really bad economy actually singing a song to clear a one drop.
And also, the Ariel will just get taken out by the Lawrence next turn potentially if it does that.
Yeah, and if that happens, he heals Rapunzel and draws two. Yeah, that would just be bad gamesmanship. Okay, we've got the Robin Hood and the shift
On the
on the Robin
shift.
Hood.
All right. Ariel going for a grab your swords.
Grab your sword. This card was very good to Franz against me. He used it to
And
clear my board, and I lost because of that.
here
Strong,
we go.
strong
There's
card.
the resist on the Cindy, so it manages to survive a grab your swords. And we've now got Robin Hood set to punch back the Lawrence if there's no Rapunzel, but there is a Rapunzel, so Lawrence is
It
back.
hit. There's Rapunzel. Beautiful play. And you got to ask yourself, is it even worth taking out the aerial here with the Lawrence? Yeah, it goes to zero, and Robin Hood can swing over it the next turn. But how many cards must Franz have? He must be running pretty low, and that whole new world be looking pretty good right about now. There's only 3 ink there. Will can guarantee that Franz doesn't fill up his hand if that one of those last cards in his hand is a whole new world. So there is a lot of decisions that needs to be made here.
Yeah, I mean, generally when I'm playing against singers, I tend to try to take them out
Yeah, and
because
I believe that's what he's done, and that
what
is
he's done.
correct.
He's offered the trade because now Lawrence is a 0-4. But then if he trades, then he's not singing Whole New World. Though I
Well,
don't
and
know
the
how viable it'd be singing Whole New World when you don't have a board.
the Rob,
So
yeah,
we
and he
got
just
the
doesn't have it.
yeah. So he goes for the trade. So the score is now I believe it's 4-2.
4-2, and there was a hard cast Zeus on the Rapunzel just then.
So
It,
that's
that's
pretty
valid, bro. Is
yeah.
that a
But now we got Smee and Daisy coming up,
man Daisy?
and Cindy's staying ready. So there's no more free lore for the Robin Hood. And let's see who we got. We got Naveen singing Strength
Strength.
to take out probably the
Yeah,
Cindy,
surely Cindy. Yeah.
only target. And there we go, Robin Hood questing for 2. So it's now,
4 apiece.
uh, yeah, 4 apiece.
Will draws and readies up. Daisy is questing for two immediately, going up to 6. Oh, is that a swing? That was a swing. My apologies. And Rapunzel is
Because he's
healing.
looking to set up another Rapunzel. Oh, yeah, he just
Yes,
did, yeah, another
it did
Rapunzel.
set up another Rapunzel. Drew 3 cards on it. Very nice. And the Smee's still chilling. And you'd be crazy not to quest with that Smee at this point. But I mean, he's not playing Go-Go, so fair enough if he doesn't.
Well, the thing is that, like, the Naveen there, now, like, the Steel Song, once it starts to have Stingers stick, that's when it can start to go off. So it's probably best to still quest anyway, because they might draw. Yeah, they might draw something else. But it looks like Franz is running low on. I think that's he's only got one card left in hand.
Yep, and Smee quested there, so we're at 6 points to 4 to William. Acknowledging once again, Williams had a lot of good testing with this aggro deck. You know, when it comes to an aggro deck, he's the equivalent of an angsty teenager being told to go to his room by his own mother. So, you know, you can see that in this performance right now. It's very indicative. And there's the Storm rages on the
Storm.
Smee. There's some bounce back here. There's what else do we have here? That is a strength
Franz
on the Daisy,
take out the
taking out the
Daisy,
Daisy.
getting another 2 lore for France, so it's 6-6 now. Getting a lot of value
Oh,
from having 2 singers in play.
lots and lots of value. You got the 5-drop Robin Hood that can sing everything in the deck. Naveen also being that big singer.
But you've got an aggro deck which still looks like it has a lot of gas left in the tank, so it's still anyone's game at this point.
And it looks like Will has 3 cards in hand still. So, sorry, well, it's more. There's 4 cards in hand. My apologies. So there's still a lot to work with here. I think Franz is definitely struggling more for resources. He hasn't seen the Rapunzels. He hasn't seen the Whole New Worlds. He's gotten a couple of Storms off, which is at least an extra card, but just really struggling, not getting those draws.
Here's a
And
lady
then with
applying more pressure. Lady into Smee. That's 4 questing power. In addition to the 2 already present from the Rapunzel.
yeah, that's pretty rough. That's pretty rough. You don't want to be staring that down when you're in a top deck situation.
But I mean, a top deck Whole New World could swing it right back in his favor potentially. Particularly if there's any more further grab your swords.
Well, grab your sword here would be interesting because Smear only would have 1 ball. The lady would be gone. The Rapunzel takes 2 damage, so it means Robin Hood would be able to swing it, or Naveen, in fact, and that would be it. But then again, Will does have the card hand advantage at the moment, so he does have more options in terms of what he wants for go ahead in terms of getting that advantage.
And we see Doc getting rid of the
Dark draw
Storm.
too.
Interesting, valuing the Doc draw over the Storm, putting potentially more damage on the Robin Hood.
Well, and for as long as I've ever known Will, he's always been extremely reckless. I'll just leave that point there. He's just an extremely reckless individual.
I guess the Storm, not like with Rapunzel being the only thing that could sing, the Storm wouldn't actually take out the Robin Hood. So if they draw Rapunzel off the top, it's not really, it's just giving you a card.
Well, yeah, just the
Here we
one
go.
card, though, is sometimes you need.
Whole New World. Calhoun being discarded from Will. And
And that was sung by the van.
now we get to see if how Steel Song gets back into this game.
Well, Franz needs to do something. He needs to do something now because I believe he didn't ink before that Whole New World, so he's only got 4 ink. He can still ink 1 more, but he really needs to, get those cards out of his hand because Will's an ink ahead and has all those cards too.
We've got Rapunzel drawing even more cards, but that's most of the ink. Or inking is Cindy.
That's fair.
Play another Cindy, so we've got more singers for next turn, or just. All right, here we go. Storm taking out the lady. It's good.
That's valid. It's a good swing in this play.
And here we go. Another
Cindy.
So we're setting up for the explosive singing turn.
And now Will's at 8 cards. He's got 5 ink, will ink to 6, and let's see what he's going to do with it.
Hence,
if you're friends right now, you'd really hope that he's not about to, throw down 3 daisies, a Calhoun, and a Rhino, because that would just be soul destroying. But that is also what this deck kind of does. It's particularly scary in the new build because they play less songs, and although that sounds more tolerable, the thing is the songs are cards that on their own don't do a whole bunch of much. You really want to be pairing them with those singers. So playing less of them means that there's more cards in the deck that you actually want to draw. So, and you can just see how much more scarily consistent this deck is now after this set 8 release.
yeah, and it's crazy also that like even after rotation, the um, Amber Steel aggro deck still has a lot of its pieces because they're mostly from newer sets. All right, we're inking
Well,
on Piglet, which is interesting. I guess Piglet into Steel
Lady into
Song is
Smee,
there. We go, Lady Smee. Oh, and here
and
we
then it's
go.
Vinny.
The
Then
Vin.
it's the boy. It's the
There's,
boy.
that card is going to be a problem. Requires a strength to get rid of or a Zeus.
That card
Otherwise,
is
oh,
ridiculously strong. It's
I've,
ridiculous. I told Will on Thursday how good that card was, and he said it sucked, and he played it to spite me, and then won the tournament and said at the end, "Yeah, that was pretty good, bro." So I will take. I'm gonna take that credit, but it's not even my credit to take. It's because Alex destroyed me with that card at GamesCube last week. Destroyed me. That card's so hard to get over. It's so oppressive,
yeah. If you don't
especially
have
in.
any way to exert it or a brawl, then suddenly everything in the aggro deck is questing for 2 or 3. And when you have lots of 3 questers, that's when things can go awry. And here we go, a storm. Is it going to take out Naveen? Oh, taking out. Oh, Robin Hood. Yeah, that makes more sense.
Robin Hood is gone, so Fran should be drawing a card from that one. I think he did already.
I think it's only when he's
Eh,
banished in a challenge, not from singing.
oh, okay, it's a challenge. That makes sense. I don't usually sing songs in my deck, but yeah, here's the problem with Vinny with this deck in particular is that with the classic Amber Steel matchup that we've come to be used to from these last like few months or so, nearly a year now, you kind of start posting up, and the matchup is a bit of an arms race. You're not really questing with stuff because you don't want them to get Rapunzel draws. You're not really challenging much because you just kind of want to build a better board than them. You want to throw all your cards away for a whole new world and such. But now, Vinny, this troll of a pigeon, right? It lets you just have this insurance policy if you just want to say, you know what, nah, I just want to quest with everything. And if you kill my stuff, I'm going to gain law. Go for it. Do your worst.
Here we got a Pete.
First Pete of the game.
Though it's. Yeah, Pete against the Amber Steel aggro deck isn't nearly as potent as Pete against the Steel Song deck.
Mm-hmm.
Though currently, with Rapunzel and Smee questing along with Doc, it is now 13-6. Sorry, it's that's 11-6. And looks like, yeah, France can't deal with that wide of a board with the Vinny, and that looks like the end of the match.
He can't deal with the Vinny, and Will's going to go ahead and he's going to take game one.